You know that super cool flaming sword that you see in the boss fight right before you finish the Mind Flayer ship? You can get it and you can keep it. And I'm gonna tell you, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Get that sword. So in the recent tips video I made for Baldur's Gate 3, card in the top right hand corner if you haven't seen it yet, one of the tips was that in the prologue you should try to get the Everburn blade. But an obvious follow-up question is, how do you actually obtain the Everburn blade from the prologue boss fight? In this video we'll give a quick tutorial on how to obtain the Everburn blade, but then stick around to the end as well because we're going to talk about another trick that you can use to turn any blade into, well, what's the opposite of ever burning? I guess just a temporary burning blade. Or mace, or flail, or staff. Really temporary burning weapons. Now the first thing I do want to mention is I don't want to oversell this weapon. This isn't a god tier broken weapon that's going to break the rest of your game. But I also don't want to undersell that the Everburn blade is a greatsword, just a regular greatsword, with a perpetual fire enchantment. It's not broken, but it will last Lysel or Karlach or whoever wants to use it for quite a while in Act 1. But potentially most importantly, it has a cool name and it looks pretty cool. And we can't underestimate the power of cool.
Get down to the B-side.
Additionally, while you can add elemental effects to your weapons, they usually only last for 3 turns. An obvious bonus with the Everburn blade is you don't have to worry about that. It is perpetually ever burning, one might say. What's up guys, Future Chad here, and I had done a lot of work into this video. I had in fact made this entire video. It was on YouTube for a little while in fact. And then it comes across one super rude commenter to tell me that I've been once again living my life on hard mode, which I have been known from time to time to do. The commenter Sabliz, sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly, let me know there was a much easier way to get the Everburn blade than by killing Commander Zalk. I guess this just goes to show that I am, in fact, a murder hobo at heart. I'll still go ahead and leave the footage on how to kill Commander Zalk if you're interested in that, but there is a much easier way to do it, which involves using Shadowheart. Before you walk into the final room on the Nautiloid and initiate the boss fight, press K on the keyboard to open up the spellbook. This will enable you to swap out any of Shadowheart's prepared spells with the command spell. You can then quick save and then use command drop weapon on Commander Zalk. After that, just have a character walk up, pick up the sword, transfer it to your main character, and you're golden. Way easier than what I did. But also, I got to kill someone and that seems more fun. I don't know, it's definitely not the path of least resistance. Just be wary of attacks of opportunity because you could possibly die trying to get away from Commander Zalk after you pick up his weapon. He still hits like a truck even with just his fists. To get around that, you could just send in Lysel to pick it up, transfer it over to your main character, and then have your main character run up and hit the tethers on the Nautiloid. But there we go, a very easy way to get the Everburn blade at all difficulties, and now we can watch the harder way of how you actually kill Commander Zalk. Appreciate the feedback in the comments, guys, I do read them. Now to obtain the Everburn blade, all you have to do is while you're still on the Nautiloid, you have to defeat Commander Zalk. If you're doing this on easy difficulty, then, well, it's kind of easy to do. Or at least straightforward. You shouldn't find it abundantly difficult, let's put it that way. If you're on normal difficulty, it's decently more difficult, but still totally doable. If you're on tactician difficulty, it's probably doable, but it's a lot more RNG dependent because Commander Zalk just has so much more HP. The idea behind this is that while you're on the Nautiloid, before you get to the final room where you fight Commander Zalk, you should be able to find one explosive barrel somewhere on the Nautiloid. Then in the final boss room, there are 3 others scattered in the room that you can pick up and transfer between your people remember, without using an action. The idea behind this is that you are going to send in Shadowheart Lysel and your player character. You're going to pick up all of these barrels and then you are going to go focus fire on Commander Zalk. Now, if you're on normal difficulty, some quick saving might be needed because you're gonna need to land some hits on him and you're going to need the Mind Flayer to help you out. I think you're going to need to get Zalk until roughly about 30 hit points. Then we are going to let the explosive barrels do the rest. Now, what about the minions, you might ask? Just leave that to us, your little brain buddy. Us should be able to make pretty quick work of all of the boars and imps flying around. Personally, what I would do is I would send my main character and go get a couple of the barrels. However, it depends on your initiative rolls. Shadowheart to get the one on the right-hand side, and then I'm gonna have her go up and get a little bit past because I want her to be out of range of the eventual explosion, and I want her to be in a little safe spot so she can cast spells on Zalk. After that, have Lysel get up close and personal with Zalk and start trying to hit him with some melee attacks. And depending on the class of your main character, have them do, well, you know, whatever it is they do in combat. I was playing as a monk, so he broke out the fisticuffs and got, you know, all punchy on him. I'm coining that, by the way. We're gonna make a feat in this game for a monk called Punchy. It's gotta happen. But honestly, there's not a whole lot more to it. It's just a lot of RNG given the battle and seeing, if you're able to land enough damage to get him down into that, 30 hit point range. I would not be afraid. Use Shadowheart to cast as many spells on him as you can. I wouldn't even worry about spell slots, honestly. And then just have Lyzel and your player character unleash, let us, the Brain Buddy, go ahead and take care of everyone else. And then transfer all of the explosive barrels over to them and then just have them start dropping. Again, that does not require an action. Then if you have time, if the backup hasn't come in and is really, forcing your hand on trying to get away, try to get your characters as far away as possible. I try to have my player character get towards the tethers at the end so that whenever all is said and done, we have the sword, he can just punch it and we're out of here. Finally, once you have the explosive barrels placed and you have your characters hopefully safely out of harm's way, preferably one of them at the controls of the Nautiloid, you are going to have Shadowheart cast Flamebolt on one of them and just watch the fun explosion, explode. That's what explosions do, they explode. Zulk should die. If he doesn't, hopefully he's only at like 2 hit points and you can take him down with like ranged weapon, or maybe the fire damage will just finish him off. After that, do a dash action on another character that's close, go grab the sword, make sure to transfer it to your player character. Again, it doesn't require an action, just hop into the inventory, right click on the sword and transfer it to your player character, and then have them activate the tether and you're out. You've got the Everburn blade. If you do not transfer it to another character, when you wake up on the ground, the Everburn blade will be gone. At least at the time of recording this, that's what happened to me if I didn't pass on the Everburn blade. But there you have it. Hopefully that was straightforward enough. It's not too hard. It's just kill the guy. He's just kind of hard to kill. There's just a lot of RNG involved. Now let's talk about the bonus way on how, if you missed out on the Everburn blade, how can you turn all of your weapons into somewhat burning weapons? Well, it's thanks to the ability to dip weapons in elemental pools, effects, whatever you want to call it. In this situation, we're talking about candles. If you have managed to acquire a candle somewhere throughout your journeys, before you get into combat, you can drop your candle and then dip all of your weapons, whatever weapons you want, into the candle, because that's how this works. You just I just take my soda can, dip it in a candle, boom, it's engulfed in flames. That's reality, right? It's probably a magic candle or something. I'm sure that there's a rationale behind it, but that is one way to turn your weapons into burning weapons. So if you missed out on the Everburn blade, there's still hope for you. Now this method does come with 2 different caveats. One, it's like they're tempting you because there are candles scattered throughout the world that you can see, but unfortunately you can't pick any of them up. The only candles you can actually pick up you have to find at a vendor, or you have to find in a random chest. I'm gonna be honest, for recording this, I searched for 30 minutes and never found a candle. So it's kind of a pain in the ass to find them if you haven't come across one already. But your forewarning now is if you do find a candle, grab it, because you can't just pick up any of the static ones just, lying around. The other caveat is that whenever you dip a weapon, it only lasts for 3 turns. That's why it said it's not gonna be an ever-burning blade, it's just like a sometimes burning blade. But there you have it, that is how you get the Everburn blade in the prologue, and that's how you turn all of your weapons into sometimes burning weapons. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you did, drop a like on the video. You're still here, you're at the end of the video, you liked it, right? Your engagement is a massive help to the channel, it helps other people find this video. While you're at it, comment down below, did you find this helpful? Were you able to get the Everburn blade? Do you just have better weapons and you don't need it? Just let me know. If you don't have anything to comment, just comment your favorite emoji. Again, it goes to engagement and that's a massive help for the channel. All right, thank you guys for watching, happy adventuring, and we'll see you in Baldur's Gate. Have a great day.